So, I recently watched the film that came out in 2014 called Lucy, and this is my review of it. So, at the start of the film, there's somebody talking to a woman named Lucy, played by Scarlett Johansson. I think that's how you pronounce it. Plays Black Widow in the Avengers films, trying to convince her to take a case into the reception area of a building. He tells her that in the case there's paperwork, which ends with him handcuffing her to the case, forcing her to go into the reception area. She later finds out that the case contains drugs and is offered a job by the drug dealer who receives the drugs. She refuses, but is knocked unconscious and wakes with a bag of drugs stitched into her. She's given a passport along with three others. They all go to different destinations. When she arrives at her destination, she's beaten up and the bag bursts, releasing the drug into her body and unlocking more than 10% of her brain. Whilst all this was going on, some scientist gives a lecture about the exact same thing that's happening to this person called Lucy. Talk about timing. Lucy escapes captivity and gets to a hospital, killing a patient because, everyone does that, and ordering surgeons to remove the bag of drugs. She then takes the bag with her for unknown reasons, and the bag isn't seen again until she's on an airplane. But before she gets on the plane, she calls a policeman somewhere in France, I guess. She gets on a plane going to that place in France, and meanwhile something weird happens. She starts to disintegrate, and nothing is ever explained about it after that. Nothing. It doesn't repeat itself. It doesn't explain itself. It goes nowhere. She goes to find the other people and take the drugs, but it turns out that the drug dealer gang got to them and are now removing the drugs. Some idiot tries to escape with a case of drugs when Lucy shows up, and for some reason she doesn't kill him. I mean, come on, it's not like she has anything against killing innocents, so why not this guy? He's not innocent. Instead, she goes mad whilst driving and drives like a gamer in GTA 5. So anyway, she goes to meet this professor and talk some more. All the while, a gunfight is going on just outside the doors of the room they're talking in. She starts to pass information to the scientist, but then for some reason decides, hey, you know what would be really cool? If I were a computer. She disappears before the bad guys get into the room, but just before she vanishes for no fucking reason, she goes through different points in history. The funny thing here is nobody, not one living thing, not one soul, realizes that somebody has just appeared out of nowhere and is sitting on a desk chair in the middle of a street. Apart from a primate, whose name is also Lucy. Then she goes back in time again to the age of the dinosaurs because logic is a thing. The cop then shoots the main bad guy, which again Lucy has neglected to kill earlier in the film when it would be so easy and would have cut the need for any of that unexplained bullshit to happen. But no, that would only make sense. So the final score for this film is a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot whilst I was watching it, but looking back on it, the plot didn't really make any sense, and the whole thing just seemed rather pointless. Don't get me wrong, it did some new stuff, has a new, unique plot, but I just couldn't understand why. Why include all this stuff and then not go into any detail about it at all?